Good afternoon, everybody. It's Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord, currently speaking anyway. And we have Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time. Mike, thanks for segment one. We're ready for segment two. Yeah, this is going to be a debate. People love it when we disagree.
Yeah. For the record, I think you will always be the Lumberjack Landlord. You will just have a different channel name.
Probably. Yeah, and some of those are really creative. And some of them are even rude. And I like the rude too.
Yeah, I knew you would.
I was like, one guy goes like passive aggressive real estate or something like that. I was like, I've always told people when they say you're passive aggressive, I said, that means at one point I relented. I'm aggressive.
I'm aggressive.
Nothing passive about it. And I was like, and we double up for aggressive for savings.
Oh, that's
so yeah. So the topic that Mike and I wanted to debate for you guys today, because I think we disagree in the margins.
I think so.
And I think that one of the things that is getting a lot of play right now is rents are raising faster than wages.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's getting a lot of play right now. I think that most people don't have any idea what they're actually talking about. So the Lumberjack Landlord, resident economist, Mike Zuber, I wanted to ask you, I've kind of got some of my own ideas, but you're the economist. You tell me based on your reviews, kind of what you've seen, and then let's shout at each other.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to shout at each other because I'll just end the video. I got this little button over here. It makes it go away. But so I've been studying the consumer for a long time. We both came from nothing. We understand hard choices, right? When you can't pay all your bills, there's more month than money. So I know there's a talk track out there that basically says incomes are rising faster than rents or vice versa, right?
Yeah. Rents faster than incomes. Yep, exactly.
And then there's some people like, hey, you make, 40 grand a year, you make 5%, that's $2,000. There's no chance your rent's going up that fast. And what I would say is if that was the only variable in life, that maybe it's true, but we live in a world where everything's more expensive.
Absolutely.
And you need to realize the biggest shock that most landlords don't understand, and frankly, banks don't understand, is when the end of the month gets here and you have to make a choice on what to pay. For most people, rent or mortgage is not priority one. No,
agreed. It used to be, but not anymore. I agree with you.
Yeah, because there's other options and this, that, and they know they can buy 30 days and whatever, right? And again, I remember many months watching my mom go, something's not getting paid. And I still remember the rainbow of colors, because when you got late, they sent you a different color envelope, right? Whites and pinks and yellows and blues.
Yep. And then red, you knew you were in trouble.
Oh yeah. When red came, well, that one's getting paid.
Yeah.
That one goes to the top of the pile.
Exactly. Look who just earned my attention.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was funny. I just did a live stream and one of the questions was about rent. I think rents need to stop. Just generally speaking, again, a blanket statement for the country, which is probably very unwise to do, but we can't have another 20% increase in rent.
No,
I actually think rents in multifamily, we had 2 years of money raining down on fools. And I'm already seeing, again, I think you and I have talked about this. I've had more people ask for help in the last 60 days than I had in the last 2 years.
Yes.
That's not a warm and fuzzy feeling.
Nope. Nope.
So I actually think rents need to, at a minimum, go even, if not go down in apartments. You could argue homes because it's a supply demand problem for a home. There's not enough, especially entry level. So I don't like that talk track. I think rent's a real problem. I think rents need to stop. Rent is already above the standard of 31 or 32% of incomes.
Oh, way above.
Yeah, I don't know how, I think I read a report the other day that half of renters are spending half of their take-home pay.
Sure.
That's not a recipe for long-term success.
Nope.
We've either got to have incomes go up or rents stay flat or go down. It's really the Fed broke everything.
They
broke
did.
Everything.
100%.
And now there's a lot of pain, a lot of unknown, a lot of uneasiness. And if I was a landlord, I would not be planning rent increases for the next couple of years. It's just bad. It's just bad out there.
So we'll start on the two things I agree on. Okay. The first thing I agree on is I am not counting on any rent raises. The only rent raises that I'm counting on are ones where people have been there for 2 years. They're going to get the bump because the bump is now only market, but it's larger than what it was. So that's the only one that's really getting a bump.
Well, for me, though, and just be clear, if there's a move out, move in, that move in's going right to market. Let's just
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're doing, this is where being a good tenant pays off.
Exactly.
This is where it pays off. And being a good tenant is not never calling for maintenance. That's not being a good pay.
Oh, no, believe me, I'd rather fix a small leak than a big leak.
Exactly. or the result of leak. Yeah. So I think the other thing that we agree on is I think that rents absolutely are not going to 20% up again next year, anywhere near that. I think so I think the other thing that we also agree on is that absolutely rent is not being done in a vacuum. It's rents, it's food, it's gas, it's everything. Admittedly, this is what 8.6% sustained inflation looks like.
Yeah. What do you think it'll be on Wednesday? You got to guess CPI next week?
Mike, I still believe that we're going to hit a 10 number eventually. Maybe not next month, maybe the following. I don't know, but I still think we're going to hit that number. We have not, the rest of the country doesn't see some of the things that we see in the Northeast. Heating oil.
Yeah.
We just got a love note. It was this simple. Hi, this is EverSource, your energy provider. We wanted to make sure that you're aware of a rate raise in the next 30 days. I scroll down, the rate raise is going from 0.11, so 11 cents, to 23 cents.
100%.
Everybody's electric bill doubles. Whether you were 50, 75, or $100, you're now 100, 150, or 200 bucks. Big money. So that's something that the rest of the country doesn't really see in areas where it gets really cold. Our heating oil right now is $6.50 a gallon.
And what is it normally?
Three and a quarter.
Another 100%.
Yep. Our governor is brilliant. And he announced in June that he was doubling the financial assistance for fuel programs.
Oh, good for him.
Well done. Well done. Because where are those people? Because the people that largely depend on that are elderly. Those are the people that largely depend on that.
Oh, can you imagine being
income.
on fixed income?
Mike, this is what I'm saying. You literally go from, I could live on, because these homes, they might take a tank of oil in a 2-month period. A tank of oil is about 300 gallons.
Oh my!
That's about $2,000 in 2 months you burn on fuel, just fuel, and that's only heat.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of people wearing sweaters and parkas inside because they just can't. Oh God!
Ask Mrs. Lumberjack. Layer up. We do it even in our home. And so the thing that I think about is, I think that's what drastically hits inflation is those heating oil prices, because there is just no way to get those down. There's just, I mean, unless you start putting a whole lot more oil into the market that you can refine for heating oil. Heating oil is less refined than gasoline.
Okay.
And so you can fix the problem. You know that there's going to be a problem. You've known it since February. And so if we run into this problem, it's really only administration's fault, because you had a 9-month head start.
Yeah. We know when winter shows up. It's kind of seasonal.
It happens pretty much the same time every year, and it sucks. But I think the other area, so I would agree with you that, yeah, those prices, that's why I think we get to that 10% inflation. That's why I think that it's going to get harder before it gets easier. We certainly are seeing demand destruction, but now we're starting to see that bullwhip effect. That bullwhip effect is, I kept on going to the stores looking for certain things that we use in our business for landlording. I couldn't find those things. So when they finally came in, I bought 10 of them. And I would leave some, but I'd take as many as I knew. I'm like, okay, in the next 6 months, because I couldn't get these for 6 months. In the next 6 months, how many do I plan on using? I would buy them. The problem that we're having is that the orderers, the purchasers of those organizations started seeing how much more they're going through. And that's where demand was coming from. The problem that they're having now is they're not ordering 10 of those anymore. They're ordering 50 of those now. The problem is all the guys like me, we've all stocked up.
Well, this is why I told people last December that we should just, unequivocally move Christmas I said this, we should
Oh
move
yeah,
Christmas
I completely agree with you.
to
Yeah,
July, because this was coming. Because again, I've been doing this a long time. And what was happening is people were not getting everything they ordered. So what do?
correct.
You triple your order.
That's
Well,
right.
guess what? Eventually that triple is going to show up.
And and then you got to sell the thing. Exactly. And that's where I think, so the other piece of this, kind of rounding back to the rent piece of it. My belief is that there have been more jobs in my area. Dairy Queen, McDonald's, they used to be $8 and $9 an hour jobs, and they're now $16 and $17 an hour jobs.
Dude, there's a joint by me, fast food, that's $25 an hour.
Is it like an In-N-Out burger or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew it would be them. So we can't afford those burgers out here.
Yeah, you gotta afford those.
But those are the things that I'm looking at, and the other thing too is that those are so we do a lot of roommate situations.
Yeah.
We're very heavy on roommate situations, and not renting by the room, but renting by the group of friends.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing that wage increase. We're seeing people that work in restaurants. I just had 3 people that applied. They were accepted. They work at restaurants. The lowest one on the totem pole made $65,000.
Wow.
Working at a restaurant.
Awesome.
The highest one was just under 80,000 in a restaurant.
Awesome.
And they're not the head chef.
Yeah.
Right. They're not the head chef, and they're not the owner. So what I found really interesting is I think that the idea, I think there in certain areas it might be true, but I think that largely we look at it and say, well, here's the rent. The rents are $1,000 and it went to $1,100, or it went to $1,200. And so that person that's making $40,000 a year, rent is technically outpacing, or could be outpacing, the wage increase that they got. However, the person making $40,000, 9 times out of 10, they're young and they have roommates. And so,
yeah, there's a lot of talk track. It's like, oh, the minimum wage person can't rent a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home anywhere in the country.
Yep.
Was that the goal of minimum wage? I must have
no,
missed something.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And so that's why I don't like the whole idea of like, let's raise the minimum wage. No.
Well, hey, all I got to tell you is I've done a video on this. If you raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour, get ready for inflation. That's all I got.
1,000%. 1,000%. You pay based on what it takes you to fill the position. Mm-hmm. That's the way it goes right now. I mean, I was paying skilled carpenters in the Great Recession. I was paying them $22 an hour, skilled carpenters in the last recession.
I'm guessing you're paying more.
45.
Yeah.
If I can get them to show up, sometimes 50, sometimes it's project based.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not angry about that. That's the market. It's the market. Yeah. But my market's coming next year. Mm-hmm. My market's coming next year and the year following.
Yeah. Again, I have a bunch of projects, a bunch of units that I have, that's needed some updating. Right. I was like, the last thing I did right before the shutdown is I bought windows for one of my apartments and got them in. Yeah. Like if I had waited 60 days and tried to do that, no chance.
No.
Right. But again, the beauty about owning lots of units is you can plan capital expenditures for when the market swings your direction.
That's right. So we have $500,000 of projects that are ready.
Yeah. We're probably almost half that. Probably.
Yeah. So we have $500,000 of projects that are ready. Mm-hmm. As soon as the market turns favorable for us, because we know we're not swimming naked.
Yeah, of course.
No one wants to see that.
No, God.
No.
Yeah, no. The capital's put away. The reserve account that we've been holding for a long time. Being a good landlord means you have reserves for capital, and then you deploy them, right?
Yeah.
When appropriate. So
yeah. So it's me. So again, on the rent outpacing wage inflation or wage increases. This is why I generally disagree. I think that everybody's getting hit on the head with all the things all at the same time. But I think that also it's not looking at the real data. Like, are they looking at the data where the combined income of the husband and wife is $40,000? It's not. That's not the family income. That's the individual's income. What individual is renting a 2-bedroom home? Like, so if we go down the path, that's where my belief is that if you actually dissect it and do the work, I think that you'll find that wages are actually staying ahead of rent, and certainly that person's portion of rent.
Yeah, if you go down to house hacking or roommates, as you call it, Yeah. The story is always multi-layered.
Absolutely.
As we will undoubtedly see on July 20th and thereafter, people want to spin it the most negative way.
Sure.
And why is July 20th? That's National Association Realtors for June data. It's going to be ugly. And then we've just watch the news media gobble that up. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's just absolutely brutal. So guys, where can they find you, Mike?
One rental at a time.
One rental at a time. Check it out. Live stream tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. As I always say, we create great content for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. We're going to do one more video for you guys following this up, but appreciate you guys giving your feedback on a new channel name. I'm still always going to be the Lumberjack Landlord, but we'll get the channel going so we can actually help more folks out and have the wide footprint like Mr. Zuber does. So Mike, thanks so much for this. We'll see you in the next video.